Hi, welcome back. It's great to see you again. Today, we're going to continue the series on the matter over thread devices from IKEA. We're going to be looking at the BILRESA remote control. IKEA have two models in this range. We've got the 2-button remote and then we have the wheel remote. So both support matter over thread, so they're compatible with multiple ecosystems, but they operate quite differently from each other. So depending on your needs will depend on which remote you'd like. So in this video, we're going to look at both remotes, pair them up into Apple Home, and then bring them over into Home Assistant, and we'll just see how differently they operate. And as I discovered, the wheel remote is either very powerful or very confusing. We'll get into that as we go through. As with all the other IKEA devices I've looked at so far, a really compelling decision on these is the affordable price. For the 2-button remote, that is $5.99 US, which is about $9.99 New Zealand, and the wheel remote is $9.99 US, which is about $15.99 New Zealand, which makes it a very affordable product. So let's start by seeing what's in the box. So first we'll have a look at the BILRESA 2-button remote. Like easy packaging. As we can see, we've got, if we want to get the product online, scan that. Then we have the remote itself and the manual with the Meta QR code. Now if we turn this over, we can see it's got a magnetic strip on the back here. So if we take that off, the remote and then the magnetic strip. So you can put this facing onto a wall. Let's go and pull out the BILRESA wheel remote. Same thing again. We've got the QR code for the manual with the Meta QR code for this device. Size-wise, pretty much near the same size. The wheel remote's slightly bigger. And to get into this remote, because obviously we need to get to the batteries, under here, just poke through, which that pops up. Take that off, and we can see the batteries in here. We can just simply place batteries in. It's all start going into pairing mode if not paired already. Now the wheel remote, the back comes off this one, very strong magnet. I've actually been testing this, so I've taken the back plate off already. Get some batteries in here. So on the 2-button remote, we've got the Meta QR code on the back underneath the plate. And on the wheel remote, it's on the back, straight on the back there. What we'll do is we'll go through the pairing process and I'll show you on the wheel remote. Right, the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we've got it in pairing mode. We'll put this one to the side. At the moment, lights are off. So to get it back into pairing mode, either take the batteries out and put them in. The first time you put the batteries in, it will go into pairing mode for 15 minutes. So that you'll just need to press this single button here to reset and just press it and it'll go back into pairing mode. If you've already paired it or you want to reset it, simply just press and hold this button and down here, press and hold. You'll see the lights go red, start flashing, and then when they stop flashing, take your finger off the button and it'll be reset. Take our finger off and it's now back into pulsing, which means it's ready to be paired. Okay, so come over to Apple Home, click on the plus and add accessory. Turn this over so you can expose the Meta QR pairing code. We'll scan that. And we'll add to home. Now this will take a few moments. When it's finished pairing, you'll see this flash twice. There we go, it's flashed twice and we should get in here. Right, we're going to put it into the bedroom. This is going to be my buttons and this will be my wife's buttons so she can control the lights. Go, continue. And we'll call that Steve's button. Continue. Done. Great. So if we come over into our bedroom, scroll down to the bottom, we can see Joe's button and Steve's button. So they're successfully paired into Apple Home. I'll quickly show you Joe's button. That's this button here. So the two buttons. What we have, as you can see, is button 1 and button 2. And for each of those buttons, we have 3 different triggers: a single press, a double press, and a long press. Right, so it's quite simple, but now this is the interesting one. If we come and have a look at the wheel button, we can see we've got 9 accessories. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buttons, all with different triggers on them, which we look at it and we look here on this button. We've got a single button here. This is clickable down here, so it goes through different channels. So we're on channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. So basically what that means is then we can use this single button in 3 different channels. So the different combinations on this button times 3. On button 1, a single press is actually a single click rotation. When we rotate this, it's got a tactile click on it. So click, 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 click. As we can see, it's moving to single presses. Button 1 is for clockwise, and the button 2 is anti-clockwise. Then we come to button 3, which is just the button by itself. So a single press, double press, and then a long press. And then we change again. So button 4 is moving into channel 2 and doing the same again. So button 4 is clockwise. Button 5 is anti-clockwise, and then button 6 is the middle button itself. So, and then obviously we've got channel 3, which is going to be 7, 8, and 9. So it's quite confusing on the Apple Home app. And I'm not a big fan of the Apple Home automation. So let's go back to Joe's button, the two double buttons. If I come down here again, do a single press, I can then add that to a device. So I'll change that to, say, my office lights, just for now. And then I'd save that. It's basically setting a scene. So if I want to go and turn it off, I need to go and map another button to that to turn it off. So turn it on. If you want to go and create it as a toggle, then you need to go into your Apple shortcuts. For me, it's just too convoluted. So that's where I prefer using the Home Assistant, and we can create more logic around that. We'll quickly show you how to pair this into Home Assistant. So the first thing that we need to do is in Apple Home, go back to our device, bedroom, stairs button, right down to the bottom, go turn on pairing mode. It'll give us a code, copy the code, go into Home Assistant, integrations, add an integration, add a meta device. Yes, it's already in use because we've paired it to Apple Home. Click on Apple Home, and we simply paste the code in and add device. We can see it has been added into Home Assistant, and we can see the device here with its 9 buttons. So now let's move over to the desktop. Okay, so we've got the devices over into Home Assistant. We can check that by going into integrations, meta, and we can see Steve's remote and Joe's remote. Click on the Steve's remote, we can see all those 9 buttons we spoke about earlier on. We could attempt to create an automation around this, which would be quite lengthy. So what we can do instead is we can go and use some blueprints. So if you haven't used blueprints before, they're basically packages of automations and scripts which the community has gone and put together and published for us to go and use. So I'll share the ones that I'm using. I'll share them in the description. So from automations, we come over to the blueprints and we can click on discover more blueprints. Now this is the blueprints exchange. We can browse through it by clicking on the Blueprints Exchange, and then we could simply browse through. Or up here, click on the search, we'll call it BILRESA, and we'll go in Blueprints Exchange, and it gives us the list here. We can click through, click on more, and it brings them all along this list, and then we can just simply scroll through and find one that we like. And it's very important that you have to read through these, because for this one here, most likely need a script, which we can get the blueprint from here, and we need a helper script and a second helper script. So follow the articles to get those into your system. If you'd like me to expand on bringing this into Home Assistant in more detail, let me know in the comments. So we go and import those in, simply come into Blueprints, click on them, and then we can see the options here. Go to my pre-cooked ones. So we'll click on Joe's button. The device is Joe's button, button 1, button 2, and then what am I doing? So in this one here, you can see that the single press toggles the bedroom lights, which is 2 lights. There's Steve's light and Joe's light. And then I've got them in a group for bedroom. So it goes and toggles that on, off. So she can turn the whole room on, whole room off, and do the same for on a double press, you can just turn her light off. I haven't gone through and configured too much. Just keep it nice and simple for my wife. And on the same thing, I've done exactly the same for button 2. She may go hang the button this way or this way, and it makes no difference. You can just press or double press either one of these and it does the same thing. Right, so we'll come over to my button automation, and the remote is my remote. Channel 1, single click is toggle the bedroom lights. Double click, toggle my lights, same as Joe's. Then I've got the scroll wheel entity is the target is the light and it's dim. I've simply put my light to be dim, so when I hit the scroll wheel, it will either dim it or brighten it. So we look at channel 2, what I've quickly done is I've shown the bedroom speaker. So a single click plays or pauses this bedroom speaker, and a double click will go turn the speakers off. Obviously we can go through and do more with a long click. Hold I've got the media volume control for my wheel on this one here. I can't remember if I've configured channel 3 yet. Yes, I've got the shield, turn on, turn off, and same with the media button there. That just gives some options of what you can look at doing with that. So which one of these would I go for? If you're just using a simple smart home setup, or you just want a basic scene switch, then I'd be sticking with a 2-button remote. It's simpler and a lot easier to understand. The wheel remote does work, you're just going to spend more time mapping out those actions. However, if you're using Home Assistant, that's when the wheel remote really does start making sense. Especially if you bring in blueprints, you can start mapping those actions properly. Overall though, both these devices are solid little units. They're simple, they're affordable, and they're easy to add to any existing setup. All right, I hope you found this useful. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.